It's a Medical Monday here on KRDO on News Channel 13, and what a treat Dr. John is back in the country and able to join us now.
All right,
You're
I'm back
great.
from my trips. I'm back for a little bit.
We're glad you're
Saving
back.
the world.
And I got my flu shot today, so get
right.
your flu shots.
Get
Very
those
important.
flu shots.
Well, we want to start with talking about new details on gluten-free diets.
Yeah, many Americans have decided to either curb or just eliminate gluten from their diets entirely because they say it makes them feel better. And some people, it's a necessity to not have any gluten in their diets, right, Dr. John?
Exactly. And for these people, they have a disorder known as celiac disease. And this is one of those things that's a genetic disorder in which part of the small intestine becomes inflamed as a result of eating gluten. That's a protein found in wheat, rye, and other grains. Now, celiac disease differs from simple gluten intolerance that a lot of people nowadays have. It's classified as an autoimmune disorder in which the body attacks and damages part of the small intestine, including what's known as the duodenum when the gluten is ingested. As for treatment, well, it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. You need to cut gluten from the diet. And right now, again, 5 years ago, you couldn't find gluten-free food anywhere. Now you can find it everywhere, so it's great. It just, the controversy is some people don't need to be on that diet necessarily, but the ones that do, really, it helps them out a lot.
And the food, the gluten-free food, it's improved somewhat, but it is extremely pricey.
It can be pricey, and again, it's one of those things, it's not for everybody, so if you don't need it, there's ways to test it, so just talk to your doctor.
All right, well, with the holidays on the horizon, a lot of people booking tickets, planning on traveling, and you travel a lot, so what should travelers know before they get on the plane?
And the main thing is you don't want to get sick when you travel, and you don't want to bring that home. That's the main thing. With new people and places and new places you're going to, the new risk of exposure to travel to diseases that aren't commonly found here in the U.S. is very high. As a matter of fact, infectious disease experts are warning travelers to get properly immunized before you travel. Researchers find that outbreaks at home are often tied to people who've been exposed overseas. As a matter of fact, one study reveals Americans returning from a spring trip break in Mexico may have started a hepatitis A outbreak back in April. All 26 travelers had not been previously vaccinated. So getting your shots is a simple proposition, but too many travelers still don't do it. So see your doctor to learn what shots you need, because that's going to depend on where you go, and get them at least a couple weeks before you go, because again, you don't want to bring those home. We're seeing measles, we're seeing mumps, we're seeing this hepatitis A. All these things are coming back to this country that aren't normally here.
And especially on the airplane, there's no ventilation. Where are the germs going to go?
Like I said,
right
I've traveled
onto you.
recently, and
Lysol
those
wipes.
airplanes seem to get smaller and smaller.
That's right.
And people
Closer and
coughing and
closer.
hacking. So.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. John, many people, they take Tylenol to soothe an ache. It's second nature for many people, but it also may be soothing their emotions.
And this is a surprising finding, I think, to a lot of people. As a matter of fact, a new study from Ohio State University found that acetaminophen, that's the active ingredient in Tylenol, has an unusual side effect. It can actually reduce emotional responses. In this study, people felt less strong emotions when they were on this acetaminophen. They concluded, the researchers, that it could be an all-purpose emotion type reliever. 23% of Americans use at least one medication that contains acetaminophen on a regular basis, so it's a very popular medication. And if it helps one more thing, that's great, but make sure you only take it if you need it.
Yeah. So is that a problem, do you think, if it's getting rid of some of these emotional responses?
I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just one of those things. If those emotional responses, and I always tell people, if it's interfering with your life, then that's when you need to talk to somebody about it. But if it's not, and Tylenol can help with that, or acetaminophen can help with that, it might be a little added benefit.
So just to clear up, just for a lack of better words, kind of dulling down your emotions?
That's what it seems to do. It just brings down, instead of the wave, it just brings down that trough a little bit, and so it just dampens it up just a smidge.
All right. So good to
That's
see
a
you,
medical
Dr.
term.
John.
Smidge.
Will we see you on Thursday?
We'll see you on Thursday.
Will we see the lamp on Thursday?
Maybe, maybe not.
I look
forward to the lamp.
You never know
Maybe
with the
some
lamp.
redecoration possibly.
go.
You'll have to stay tuned for that.
Thanks,
We'll
Dr.
be right
John.
back.